Are you looking for a special homemade treat for your next brunch? Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Chef Rich. Today we're going to be making some homemade Danish. We're going to make some cheese Danish and some apple Danish. You can do any type of fruit you like, but we're going to be using some apples and we're going to do a cream cheese style Danish as well. Let's jump right in and we'll talk about our ingredients. I have one box, it's a 17.3 ounce box of puff pastry that I've defrosted. I've also taken a brush and kind of just brushed off some of the flour. Tried to anyway. I have 2 egg yolks. This, you can't really tell, but it's 2 teaspoons of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. I have some sugar for dusting. I have some more sugar over here for the actual cream cheese filling, which is 4.5 tablespoons of sugar over here. I have an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. I have 1 Gala Apple and 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for our apples. So let's begin cooking. The first thing we're going to do is get our apples cooking. You can add some butter to the pan because I try to reduce the amount of fat. There's enough fat in here. This is actually layers of dough and fat. That's what puff pastry is, if you know classically how to make puff pastry. There's plenty of fat in here, so we don't need more fat. I'm actually going to just add the sugar to my pan and put the apples right on top of it. And in a couple seconds, the sugar will actually melt and you really don't need any butter. You can add it, add some richness, but I try to avoid it. While this is cooking, we're going to make our cream cheese filling. So to our mixer, and you could use a hand beater if you wanted to use a hand beater. We're gonna add our cream cheese, we're gonna add our egg, and we're gonna add our sugar. And we're gonna put this up to mix. And I hear our apples sizzling away, so I'm gonna give this just a very quick mix. So we're gonna put this up to mix. We're gonna scrape this down. It's actually quite easy to make. And now what we're going to do, actually, we're just going to give this another quick mix. I'm going to actually add just a drop of water to my pan. Maybe a tablespoon of water. I'm going to just add that to the pan. And while that's cooking, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on. And we're going to slowly add our vanilla. And we'll put it back up to mix. Alrighty, let's check our apples. Our apples are literally going to take 2 to 3 minutes to cook. If you take a look at this, the pan's actually very, very dry. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. So in total, I've added about 2 tablespoons of water to this. And while that's cooking, I'm going to taste my cream cheese filling. That's pretty good. You notice there's a couple of very small clumps in there. I'm just going to actually see if I can get some of those out. It's not a big deal. As far as the actual cheese Danish, you're not really going to notice it. Ideally, you don't want any clumps in there, but that's all right. Check our apples. So I cooked our apples just for literally about another minute, just so they're a little bit tender, and they're fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut these in 4 pieces. If you have a pizza cutter, by all means, you can use a pizza cutter, a little bit easier to cut. I'm going to actually turn my board this way. You want to do your best to get even squares. We're going to take each one and we're going to try to do your best to evenly fold the 4 corners in. I'm going to take our egg yolk. I'm just going to touch it so it sticks. The egg yolk will help the corners actually stick There is something called Danish dough, which is very, very similar to puff pastry. You can make a homemade Danish dough, but definitely not necessary. This will work just fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take approximately 2 tablespoons of our cheese mixture, and the last 3 I'm going to do with apple. If you want to do apple and cheese, you can. These are just going to be pure apple. You can cook off some blueberries the same way and do a blueberry topping. Or if you just cook some blueberries with some sugar, just to sweeten them up a bit. And you, like I said, you could do blueberry, you could do cherry, you could do strawberry, any type of topping you like. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our egg yolk and we're just going to try to brush any place that there's not fruit or cheese. We're going to brush. What the egg yolk is going to do, very often you'll see people use whole egg. It's the yolk that will give it a nice brown color. That's why I use just the yolk and not the whole egg. The egg white does not give any color when it cooks. What you're trying to do is give it a nice golden brown color when it bakes. I think I need another egg yolk. So I got a little bit more egg yolk, or one more egg yolk, not a little bit more. Alrighty. Last thing we're going to do, we'll take some sugar. We're just going to sprinkle some sugar on top and make a mess while we're at it. One of these days I'm going to do a video on just me making a mess in the kitchen. That'll be pretty funny. And I have lots of footage of it already. We really just have to piece it together. It's not like we're going to have to film this. So we're going to put this on a sheet pan lined with parchment paper. You don't have to spray the parchment. You do have to separate these a little bit because they will rise a little bit because they are puff pastry. And now we're going to put these in a 400-degree oven and bake them for 18 to 20 minutes. So I will see you in about 18 minutes. So our Danish was in the oven for right about 18 minutes. I took them out and I cooled them off a little bit just so I can work with them. In here I have 1 tablespoon of whole milk. And this is a half a cup of either 10x sugar or confectioner sugar. We're just going to make a quick glaze for this. Just going to mix this up really well. This is basically going to give us, a nice sugary glaze for the top of these. You can see I have a nice glaze. Now what we're going to do, see how this works. Normally I use my fingers for stuff like this. We just keep going across. We'll do this with chocolate desserts all the time, where I'm drizzling chocolate on it. The glaze is going to take just a couple minutes to dry, and then I'm going to put them on a plate, and I'll show you what they look like in a couple minutes. See you shortly. So I put our Danish on a plate with our cheese Danish and our apple. Now I'm going to try taking a taste. Really, really, really good. The dough is nice and flaky, which is one of the things that makes a good Danish. It's not overly sweet, it has just enough sugar. You can taste the vanilla. Really, really nice Danish. So, highly recommend this. Let's try our apple. Also really, really, really good. You taste the cinnamon in the apples. The apples are not overcooked. They have a little bit of a crunch to them, which is nice. Really, really nice Danish. You'll really like these. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give me the thumbs up. Please hit the subscription button and leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear what type of Danish you like to make. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.